My name is Pam Patsley. When I was a Parkway student, I was Pam Horstmann, and I graduated from Parkway North in 1975. Hate to say that. And have two younger brothers that also went all through Parkway. And really, I guess I started in kindergarten at Weber, and then Ross Elementary. We moved away for 1 year, and I spent my 7th grade year in California, in San Jose. Then back to Parkway North when there was a North Junior High, and then on to North Senior. So it was very exciting, and I remember North Senior was very new, and in fact I think the 75 graduating class of 75, was the first to go all 3 years. At that time it was 10th, 11th, and 12th, in the new open space facility that I know has continued to evolve since that time, but it was just a lot of great fun. I left, after graduating from Parkway North, I went to Mizzou, and I decided to major in business, kind of had that set in my mind, specifically majoring in accounting, after taking some business classes at Parkway North with Mr. Seifert. And he was just a wonderful teacher. So I went to Mizzou with my mindset that I would major in accounting. And I must say I realize I am a bit the exception and not the rule, because that's exactly what I did and didn't change my major or anything, and that has worked out wonderfully for me. Stayed in St. Louis, Missouri after graduating from Mizzou for a little over 3 years, and worked for one of the Big 8 public accounting firms. And I say Big 8 because at the time it was Big 8, and I think we're down to about 4 now, and lots of changes in the accounting industry. And that was with Pete Marwick, or now known as KPMG. So, and then I moved to Dallas, Texas. I guess that was in the summer of '82. So a little over 3 years after working with Pete Marwick here, and worked for KPMG in Dallas, and have been in Dallas ever since. And my career really has just progressed after being in public accounting for 6 years, moving on to work for one of my clients, as many folks do when you major in public accounting. And you know, I guess you could say it was a form of banking. It was financial services industry, essentially. And moved up from being a CFO of a non-public company, taking the company public on an IPO, and then I became president of another one of our operating subsidiaries, which we then subsequently spun out in an initial public offering. And so for several years, I was one of the few women CEOs of a New York Stock Exchange public company. And something I'm quite proud of, and it was very exciting. I love business, and I think, you know, the accounting background provided just a good broad base of knowledge, and kind of that finance background is very critical, particularly in today's environment and the new regulatory issues and things that face businesses today. And then our public company was purchased by the company I'm with today, which is First Data Corporation. And after First Data bought the public shares of the company I was CEO of, which was called Paymentech, they wanted me to come work for them. And so I've been there since, I guess, spring of 2000. And it's been very exciting. And I guess the most recent accomplishments are that I run all of our business for First Data outside the United States. And I've had the pleasure and privilege of spending 2 years with my family in Paris, France. And now that I live in Texas, many people say, Paris, Texas? I'm like, no, Paris, the real Paris, France. And so that was just a wonderful, you know, professional and personal development time for all of us. Lots of travel. I have clearly seen the world. You know, people say you have responsibility for everything outside the United States. I'm like, yes. Does that include Canada? Yes. So anyway, it's been quite exciting. When I think back to my years at Parkway, I must say probably some of the fondest memories are, of course, the academics were there and obviously provided a good foundation, or I don't think I would have been able to achieve what I, you know, been able to accomplish in my professional life. But it was providing a broad base of exposure to a lot of different things and participating in the extracurricular activities. And I'm really proud to say that many of my best friends today are those that, some that I even, was in first grade with at Ross Elementary, to some that I met, in junior high and high school, and being a Vikette and a pom-pom girl and all the fun that brought, traveling with the band and performing at football games and basketball games, just nothing but wonderful memories. And I guess if I had to say, okay, what advice, okay, you're supposedly this successful person, what advice would I give to young people? And I must say, it's probably not anything very different than I'd say to anyone, whether it's a student at Parkway today or a student anywhere, and that's always really try to do your best. You can talk to my son. He has heard this a number of times, but always really try to do your best and get an exposure to a lot of different things. Don't narrow your channels so greatly too early on, because there's just a whole world out there, truly, and a lot of opportunities. And I think when I was here at Parkway, that's what they did very, very well, and that was provide exposure to a lot of different kinds of things, whether it was just strictly education, but also the other activities. And you always have to, besides work hard, you have to have a lot of fun at what you're doing, and that would certainly be my advice in your career. Whatever it is you do after graduating from college, I think you have to do something that you truly enjoy, and you have to do it with people that you enjoy working with, and people that you respect, people that have high integrity and good ethics. I must say, again, in business, when I think back on my experience at Parkway and coming from St. Louis, one of the standouts is that the Midwest has just a terrific work ethic. And I can say now in business that when we recruit and we're interviewing graduates or people, those sorts of things are things we look at. And, there really is something, I believe, as that good Midwest work ethic. And I think that has served me well, and I think the students here today at Parkway, benefit from that as well.